Purpose of learning and practicing the Vedas. In this part 1 video, we will examine how worldly influences affect our emotions, thoughts, and behavior. We will then explore how the rishis presented Vedic learning and practice as a means of addressing what lies within our control, especially the deeper causes of our actions and reactions rooted in the attitudes of I and mine. For situations beyond our control, the Vedic tradition teaches prayer, surrender, and trust in the divine. The mind is like a mirror. Over time, anger, greed, jealousy, pride, fear, hatred, and attachment settle upon it like unnoticed stains. Some arise from our own thoughts, choices, and habits, while others are absorbed from people, experiences, and social conditioning. Because this happens gradually and often unconsciously, we may not realize how deeply these impressions shape our reactions and perceptions. As they accumulate, the mirror of the mind becomes clouded, and we lose the clarity needed to see ourselves, others, and our true self as they really are. Society is like a flowing river. Like the unnoticed stains that gradually settle upon the mind, many of the impurities in society are also introduced knowingly or unknowingly through actions we choose. Whenever we express anger, dishonesty, selfishness, hatred, cruelty, or arrogance through our words, decisions, or behavior, we throw emotional and ethical waste into this shared river. Repeated by many individuals, these actions accumulate and pollute social harmony, damage relationships, and make the collective environment unhealthy for everyone. The mirror and the river are only simple illustrations. When we widen our view, we find similar patterns operating throughout the world. Distraction, comparison, consumerism, addiction, propaganda, greed, fear, and destructive behavior continuously influence the human mind and shape society. Some remain on the surface, some develop into powerful habits, and others pull individuals and communities into harmful depths. Behind many of these actions are ignorance, uncontrolled emotions, deep conditioning, and an excessive attachment to I and mine. Great rishis have examined human life from many perspectives. At a very high level, its fundamental problem may be understood through two principles, avidya and anityatva. Avidya is ignorance or mistaken understanding of our true nature. Because of avidya, we identify ourselves only with the body, mind, status, relationships, and achievements. From this arise ahankara, the limited sense of I, and mamakara, the possessive sense of mine. Anityatva is the impermanent and changing nature of worldly life. Health, wealth, relationships, position, possessions, and even the body cannot remain unchanged. Since everything connected with I and mine is uncertain and temporary, the mind develops attachment, fear, anxiety, anger, and sorrow. Thus, avidya creates the mistaken identity, while anityatva exposes the insecurity of that identity. Spiritual discipline helps us understand impermanence, weaken the domination of I and mine, and gradually move from ignorance towards self knowledge. The rishis describe worldly existence as samsara sagara, the ocean of repeated birth, death, pleasure, pain, attachment, and loss. A spiritually mature seeker may remain in the world without being inwardly bound by it, like a lotus leaf resting on water without being wetted, but such attachment is difficult for most of us. Therefore, the Vedas and related teachings provide the materials and methods for building a spiritual boat. Dharma gives its structure, devotion gives its strength, knowledge gives direction, disciplined practice seals its weakness, the Guru guides it, and divine grace carries it forward. Each person builds this boat according to faith, understanding, and commitment. A weak practice creates a fragile vessel. Sincere study, chanting, reflection, and ethical living make it strong enough to withstand the storms, currents, and waves of worldly life. As Vedic knowledge broadens our understanding beyond the limited concerns of ourselves and our possessions to include society, nature, all living beings, and vast cosmic order, we gradually recognize that our life, abilities, and achievements do not arise from us alone. This wider vision weakens ahankara, the exaggerated sense of individual doership, and mamakara, the possessive feeling that people, objects, and accomplishments belong absolutely to us. In their place arise humility, gratitude, responsibility, and a deeper sense of interconnectedness. The Vedas offer a comprehensive path covering dharma, worship, social responsibility, prosperity, harmony with nature, and self knowledge. But their traditional study required many years under a guru, which may not be practical for many modern householders. To meet this need, some teachers and lineages developed a compact Vedic chanting corpus. It is not an abridged version of the entire Veda, but a carefully selected collection of mantras that preserves important elements of Vedic sound, worship, values, and philosophy for those who wish to follow the Vedic tradition in their daily spiritual practice. These teachings were then preserved and transmitted to humanity as a path from avidya to vidya, from mistaken identity to self knowledge, and from fear and bondage towards freedom. At the same time, the Vedas do not address only avidya, they also guide human being in dharma, worship, social order, prosperity, harmony with nature, and preparation of self knowledge. But at the highest spiritual level, overcoming avidya is indeed the central objective. That is why Brahma Yajñam is performed daily as a means of honoring and discharging the sacred debt owed to the rishis who perceived, preserved, and transmitted Vedic knowledge for humanity. Through Swadhyaya, the householder expresses gratitude to the sages and participates in the continuation of the Guru Sishya tradition. Its purpose is to preserve Vedic wisdom, strengthen dharmic understanding, and prepare the mind for the deeper teachings of the Upanishads. Therefore, even in its brief daily form, Brahmayajnam is regarded as a Nitya Karma, a daily duty of gratitude, learning, remembrance, and transmission.